they have.
Call today. 86.
So a lot of us have it. On the Statler Financial, Americans get a failings. 72% failed it. But
One of them, both
what topics do you find most lacking with what they know?
have a nice form to live day to day, month to month. I think people don't take seriously, and they don't realize.
And Philip, I think recognizing how this conversation on financial, right?
And it is a duration when you get ready to me. If everything.
Philip, here's the other, often claim to have literacy scores. And I think that's really, especially when it comes to areas like.
If you don't think there's an open mind, and a lot of them have done it in the security. And if you have
Philip, when you go through care, only 20 simple about it, but most of them
are your options are my options. Assistance. You need to look at if that occurs to you. 70% are going to end up in. You have to go stuff. But at 285-3815.
Talking today with Phil versus women do on and buying the groceries and paying with the budget, paying the from after we retire.
Coming from to pay those expect to get. And so I think that's where we're taking money out of when.
Woman who lives the longest, so make sure the income
What's going to happen? The wife is, or where the income's coming from. The area that our income plan, talk about inflation. How do I believe is so important. But what do you do risk you have in your portfolio? We help you organize your group. Then 3815. That's 863. And that number is 863.
Started on your complimentary 1K. If you don't, your options. We can look at Philip and the team are ready. 863-28 through Statler Financial Services Incorporated.
Thanks for joining us to the inaugural Highlander. And if you're wondering who is likely to take this all down for us and who say they are comfortable for things. So we will in retirement, the first thing.
No-brainer, right? And we'll take a step further than that. And term and the folks I've met with, I mean, they didn't have to. The difference when you come up with every month is that payment.
Only do we want to do a retirement as well, come up with a way to replace it, retirement expenses, and even retirement.
It really, I hear that word and they just shut down coming from on a monthly, because part of that planning, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not cheap, but that's not its purpose, right? It is. I've got to spend between Social Security. They never have an retirement income plan. We try to get one of those 15 and let them know.
With Philip Statler, Institute, they found a clear spend.
Basically, as you're taking in stuff, they have a lot of accounts. The next bucket's coming from, hey, bucket number one's going to last. So that's the
plan for how you work retirement and accumulate.
And that's 1 year before they get ready to retire. But saving, keep doing the same thing over and over again, which when you were working, that was okay, because if the market tanked, you were benefiting, right? Because you were putting more money in, you were buying it at a low price. So when the market recovered, you were going to benefit from that. Well, now in retirement, you don't have a paycheck coming in. You have Social Security. If you're lucky, you have a pension, and that's it. You have your investments that are going to create the rest of your income. And so often, folks don't change the style in which they're investing their retirement dollars. As a matter of fact, I would say 90% of the time, they don't make that change.
Wow.
And that's the biggest problem I see for those people as they head into retirement, is they've not shifted gears in their IRAs and their 401ks and that type of stuff into a more risk-adverse approach to creating income.
What would you say people overlook the most when it comes to how they're spending down their savings in retirement? Is it just not accounting for certain expenses, or what do you think people overlook the most?
I'm going to say that most people overlooked when it comes to spending. They really kind of overlook those things that automatically come out of their checking account, right? Like maybe insurance premiums, maybe their utility bill automatically comes out. They've got all these things set up on automatic. It's back of their mind, right? They don't see it.
Yeah.
So they don't realize it's really coming out of their checking account. So they don't account for some of those things when they start to put together the budget, because they don't see them every month when they come in the mail. They just comes out of their account. A lot of them don't even open the envelopes. And so that becomes, really part of the issue there when it comes to that kind of thing is really the budget and the frivolous spending that they don't realize what they're spending.
Right.
Eating out and that kind of stuff. So, Jen, that's really, again, why it's so important that folks put together that written retirement income plan, because that gives them that baseline of income. As a matter of fact, I met with several folks lately that say, "Hey, look, here's how much income we can get you," and they're like, "Oh, whoa, I don't need that much income. That's by the time I take my Social Security and that's way more than what I need. Let's pare that down a little bit." But they wouldn't know that, right, if they didn't put together that written retirement income plan. So, folks, listen, if you've not done that, if you've not sat down and put together a written retirement income plan, and you're just taking your income from here, there, and everywhere, and it's meeting your needs, but do you know when you're going to run out of money? That's the key. Give us a call and let us help you put together that written retirement income plan. Listen, if you're listening to the show today and you've saved at least $150,000 for retirement, give us a call. Let us put together a written retirement income plan just for you. That phone number is 863-285-3815. 863-285-3815. Would love to sit down with you and go through that process.
That number again is 863-285-3815. Talking today about a study from the Employee Benefit Research Institute that found that retirees who consider themselves to be comfortable in retirement, they've done the same 4 things. Philip is going to continue breaking down these 4 keys to a comfortable retirement in just a moment. Stay with us.
If you have a retirement plan and would like a second opinion, call Statler Financial Services today. 863-285-3815. That's 863-285-3815.
From the pitch, swung at a little too soon.
Strike 3, you're out.
To the joke told at the wrong time. To barely missing your connecting flight.
This is the final boarding call for Flight 109 to Chicago.
Timing is everything. The same is true for your Social Security benefits. Take them too soon and you could leave a lot of money on the table. Take them too late and you might spend down too much of your savings. Everybody's situation can be different, but taking your Social Security benefits at the right time is important for your retirement success. Philip Statler at Statler Financial understands Social Security and can help you make decisions that are best for you and your retirement dreams. Call 863-285-3815 to start optimizing your benefits. With Social Security, timing is everything, so don't delay. Call Philip Statler at Statler Financial today. 863-285-3815. That's 863-285-3815. Our firm offers insurance services and is not affiliated with the U.S. government. Advisory services offered through Statler Financial Services, Inc., a registered investment advisory firm in the state of Florida.
Thanks for joining us today on the Statler Financial Radio Show with Philip Statler. He is president and CEO of Statler Financial Services in Sebring. Philip was the inaugural Highlander Award winner for Financial Representative of the Year. StatlerFinancial.com is the website if you'd like to learn a little bit more. And today we're talking about a study from the Employee Benefit Research Institute. It found that retirees who consider themselves to be comfortable in retirement, they've all done the same 4 things. So we're calling these the keys to a comfortable retirement. So Philip, for those who missed it, because we've already covered a couple of them, let's recap those first 2 keys to a comfortable retirement and why you think they're important.
Absolutely, Jen. So the first key is to go into retirement with little or no debt. Now, that should be obvious, right? Because if we are in debt, then that's that much more income we have to produce to pay down the debt. Mm-hmm. And that's less income we have to spend or use or create income with. So that's number one. We need to, those folks that I see that retire with little or no debt, have a much better success rate through retirement. The second one we talked about last segment was to create a clear spend down strategy. Now, for us at Statler Financial, we believe in a written retirement income plan using kind of a bucket approach so that you are going to spend down each bucket until you get to the last 2 buckets, which are going to last you throughout your lifetime. And so not having that strategy on paper written down can cause problems. We want to make sure that we've got those things in place so that we can have the retirement income we need for the future. And that's the spend down strategy.
All right. So little or no debt, clear spend down strategy. The next key, again, these are people who responded to the survey and said they feel comfortable in retirement. They say they have some sort of employer provided assistance. Now that sounds pretty good, but maybe a little bit harder to get. What can you tell us about that one?
Well, obviously, those folks that retire with a pension, like you just said, it's hard to get these days. But obviously, they're ahead of the curve, right? Because they not only have Social Security, but then they're going to have their pension also. So then they have the three-legged stool still. And not a lot of people do. But then they've got the pension, Social Security, and then the last third of their income they can create from their own savings. But a lot of people don't have that, right? They only have Social Security. And they have a nice 401k. They've got some money saved. So you have to create your own pension. And really and truly, that's why we created the income plan, because that really does give us our pension, right? We can adjust it for inflation. We can tweak it for more money up front, less money down the road. There's all kinds of little nuances that we can walk through to make it be your pension for down the road. Now, within that, you have to use the right tools. Right. And so, we're going to use portfolios. You got to have some risk. You got to have some safety. It takes both things, Jen. And this is people's misconception. It takes both safety and risk to create income that you're not going to outlive. So many people think they can just go all safe. Well, that won't keep up with inflation. Other people think they will be all in a balanced portfolio. Well, what we've learned over time is that when the market goes down, all the markets go down. The bond market goes down, maybe not as much, but it still goes down. And if you're taking money out, that's going to be problematic for your money to last throughout your lifetime. So it takes both. And that's what we put together in our retirement income plans, is both. So obviously the risk side, people know where that's coming from. That's coming from the stock market, right? Having a nice portfolio that's going to help keep up with inflation. So where's the safety going to come from? Well, that's where annuities come into play. Not just any annuity. You got to have the right kind of annuity put in there. One that's not costing you an arm and a leg. One that's going to provide you the income you need down the road. Now, obviously, when you deal with annuities, there's some downside, right? Just like there is when you're in the market. Downside is there's a holding period. Maybe that's 5 years, 7 years, maybe it's 10 years that you got to hold on to it. That's why it's built into a plan, because it's a tool that's going to be used at a specific time for a specific reason. So those are the type of things that we want to make sure that we're looking at when we put together that retirement income plan, Jen.
And I think that's important when you talk a little bit about having both, because there is a balance there when it comes to safety and that non-guaranteed versus what we would call guaranteed or protected income. And that's really what your process is all about, is helping us analyze where we are now, and then identify ways that we can achieve that balance. Before we get into our final key, just talk a little bit about how we can reach you to get started on creating that retirement design that helps us achieve both the right balance between growth and safety.
Absolutely, Jen. So the core retirement design, it helps people to calculate how much risk they have in their portfolio. It helps them determine how much risk they're willing to take. It helps organize their objectives and goals. It reviews where they are compared to their current portfolio in terms of risk and cost analysis. And then it helps them establish, right, the optimized risk match portfolio, which makes that portfolio line up really and truly with their risk number. Give us a call to walk through that process, 863-285-3815. That's 863-285-3815. 3815.
Talking today with Philip Statler. He is with Statler Financial Services, and I'm Jen Rezac alongside. And the final key to a comfortable retirement is having some sort of guaranteed income. So, Philip, you were just, we were talking a little bit about that balance between non-guaranteed and guaranteed. That could be Social Security. That could mean a pension. We don't see a lot of that anymore. Or you can create your own stream of guaranteed income that kind of works like a pension. But just talk about how important that is, Philip. Reiterate how important it is to have both, because I think in an ideal world, everything would be guaranteed income, but I don't think that's a reality. So we've got to make sure that we're making the right decisions with guaranteed versus non-guaranteed income, right?
Well, that's right, Jen. We really do. And when you think of guaranteed income sources, the first one that comes to most people's mind is Social Security, right? Social Security is going to come in every month, no matter what. But we have to make sure that we are making the right choice when it comes to taking our Social Security, as well as our pension, and making sure we're putting the right pieces together within that pension to make sure that everything's going to line up with everything else. So you've got the guarantees between Social Security and maybe a pension. And then on the other side, we've got the income plan with some, I'm not going to say guarantees, but with some optimism of here's where we should be. Now, I believe in being really and truly realistic when we put together our income plans. We're not going to use some high number in terms of, the market's going to do 8, 10, 12%. Not going to happen, Jen. We're going to look and say, hey, can my money last as long as I do if I only earn 3%? Because if that's all I make and it'll work, then I'm good. Right. So don't let anybody use unrealistic expectations on how much money you can make, whether it's in the stock market, the bond market, and an annuity. It doesn't matter. Don't let somebody give you unrealistic expectations, Jim, because that will just cause everything to just blow up when you need to start taking your income.
And we do need to make sure that we're making the right decision with things like Social Security when you do look at some of those sources of income that you'll have. Talk a little bit about how that fits in. How do we make sure we're making the right decision there?
It's easy for some people to make because they just say, I want to take it now.
They just click on it, right?
They just click on it and go, I want to take it. Well, that's not always the best way to do it. You need to understand, one, what are you giving up if I take it now? And two, is there a better alternative than taking my Social Security now? When I look at my own situation, if you're married, you got to take into consideration your spouse and when are they going to take it? There's a lot of ins and outs, Jen, when it comes to Social Security. And I see people way too often say, I'm going to take it as soon as I can. And folks, that may be a good decision, but more often than not, it's not the best decision. You need to have a plan in place that takes into account when you want to take your Social Security.
Aside from creating an income strategy for retirement, making the right decision with things like Social Security and understanding our guaranteed and non-guaranteed income sources, which is a lot, but what else do we need to think about?
Well, there's a list of things you need to think about, Jen, when you head into retirement and saving and spending in retirement. One is taxes. I can't tell you how many times folks will sit down and say, well, I'm retiring. I'm going to get my Social Security. I'm going to take some money out of my IRA. And so I'm not going to have to pay any taxes anymore because I'm retired. Guess what? It doesn't work
false,
that way.
Right?
That's right. You never retire from taxes unless your income drops below the thresholds. Taxes are going to be there. They're a way of life. The other thing people forget about is healthcare. Healthcare doesn't quit. You don't quit paying for it just because you retire. We still have Medicare you're paying for, Medicare supplements you're having to pay for, those type of things. Inflation. Oh, so many people forget about inflation. Why? Because we've seen so many years of basically non-existent inflation, which reminds me, I was at Dairy Queen. I got me a peanut butter parfait.
Yes.
And I can remember when I used to pay $1.59.
Oh, not anymore.
For that peanut butter parfait.
Yeah.
It was $4.79.
Holy moly. Yeah.
So that's inflation, Jen. That's inflation. And then obviously long-term care. People need to take that into consideration as they head into retirement.
That's right. A lot of things to think about. And so talk a little bit about how having a comprehensive strategy that addresses all of these things can help us feel more confident, and how can we get that started?
Jen, it is just people that retire with a written retirement income plan in place have that peace of knowing where their money's coming from, when it's coming from that spot. And I have people all the time, we sit down and they say, okay, and so next year I'm going to switch where I'm getting my money from. Absolutely. So they're on track. They know exactly what's happening with their income plan. That needs to be you as you're heading into retirement. That's important that you understand. That's why I believe it's so important that you have that written retirement income plan. And so if you've saved at least $150,000 for retirement, please, please, please give us a call. Let us help you put together that written retirement income plan. 863-285-3815. That's 863-285-3815.
This is the Statler Financial Radio Show. We have covered a lot on the show today, but we still have to put Philip to the test. So we've got a round of retirement trivia coming up next. Stay with us.
Are you near retirement and facing a layoff? You may have some important decisions to make regarding your 401k. If you don't work there, should your money stay? This decision could be critical to your retirement. Philip Statler and the team at Statler Financial Services have worked with many families with these types of decisions and understand your options. We can look at the options for your 401k that could save you on taxes down the road. Call Philip Statler and the team at Statler Financial Services and schedule your complimentary 401k review at 863-285-3815. Philip and the team are ready to assist you no matter how, by phone, video, or with an in-person visit. Call Philip Statler and the Statler Financial Services team today for your 401k review. 863-285-3815. That's 863-285-3815. Our firm offers insurance services and may not give tax advice. Advisory services offered through Statler Financial Services Incorporated, a registered investment advisory firm in the state of Florida. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
Thanks for joining us today on the Statler Financial Radio Show. Jen Rezac here alongside Philip Statler. He is president and CEO of Statler Financial Services. He is the inaugural Highlander Award winner for Financial Representative of the Year. And he's in the hot seat right now because we're going to put him to the test. We've got a round of retirement trivia. And Philip, this week, the topic is Medicare. Are you ready?
Jen, I wonder why we picked Medicare. I mean, of all things, Medicare.
I know. I could have done taxes. I could have done Social Security. I could have done anything else in the world, but I picked Medicare. So I want to see what you know.
Yeah, I guess because people are thinking about that a lot right now, aren't they?
They are, and it's always a thing to talk about. And one day we'll do some other trivia, but right now it's Medicare. So, okay. Like it or not,
Medicare hat on.
Put your Medicare hat on and get ready. Get ready for it. And I'm going to try not to stress you out too much. We're going to do multiple choice. So I'm going to read the question. I will read through the answers for you to choose from. And then you've got to tell us. You've got to pick one. And then we're going to find out if you're right or if you're wrong. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So here we go. Our first question today. Medicare started under which U.S. president? A, Harry S. Truman. B, Lyndon B. Johnson. C, John F. Kennedy. Or D, Abraham Lincoln.
Maybe, and this is probably just a guess, Jen. I'm just going to throw it out there. Maybe Lyndon Johnson?
Lyndon Johnson. You got it. Yay. How about that?
That one was, yeah.
It was tough.
I think I remember back, when Social Security started, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty easy. I remember that one.
You're right. Well, and there were several presidents involved here too, because so Teddy Roosevelt, he talked about it. He included a health insurance platform when he ran for president in 1912, and then the Truman administration caught on to that, and the idea picked up steam there in the 40s. And then JFK made a push for this national healthcare program for seniors. But of course, as we all know, he didn't get the opportunity to complete his term. So then Johnson becomes president, and that's when it was signed into law. So there were lots of presidents involved here, but Lyndon B. Johnson is the one who carried it across the finish line. So there you go. This one's going to be tough, okay? How many Americans are covered by Medicare to date? Is it A, 45 million? Is it B, 59 million? Is it C, 61 million? Or D, 63 million?
I'm thinking three of those numbers are all really close. So
yeah.
You didn't give me really any give-me's here, did you?
Sorry, no, I didn't. I didn't put 7 people or a billion. No, I didn't.
I'm going to go, I think probably C. I think there's probably 61 million. I don't think 63, but it's probably 61 million.
You think it's C? Final answer?
Yeah. Yep, final answer.
No, sorry. It's D. 63 million. That was for 2021. 63.1 million Americans. I know. All right, sorry. Okay. Next one is just A or B is all your options for this, because this is a yes or no question. Yep.
It, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
It's just yes or no. Are Medicare...
It's like a flip a coin, huh?
Right. It's 50-50 chance. So come on. You can do this. Are Medicare supplements and Medicap different? A, yes. B, no. MedSups and Medigap. Is that different?
No, they're the same. I'm pretty sure about that one.
Okay. Yay, you got it. Yes, that's right. Original Medicare is the same thing as Medicare Parts A and B, and then Medicare Advantage is the same thing as Medicare Part C, because we're dealing with the federal government. So it can't be simple, it can't be super easy. It's all these different parts, and the same things have different names, because, that's just the way it is.
Right? It's the government. I get it. Yeah.
It's painful.
Yeah.
All right. So again, and we've talked about this before. So Medicare has this kind of alphabet soup, right? There's all these different parts. So our next question is about all the different parts of Medicare. And this goes back to multiple choice. It's A, B, C, or D. Which part of Medicare covers prescriptions? Is it A, Part A? You know what? I'm just going to say Part A, Part B, Part C, or Part D. Which one is it?
Jen, I actually remember when this one rolled out.
Yeah?
So, we did a lot of educational events around this whole prescription thing. And so that would be Part D.
Part D. That's right. What if, Philip, if I worked for the government, here's what I would have done. I would have said it's A, Part B, B, Part D. What if I would have mixed them all up instead of just having it be A, B, C, D? Go with the parts.
Well, then, dyslexia could have picked up and could have picked the wrong one.
Well, if I worked for the administration, if I worked for the Centers for Medicare, that's probably what I would have done. That's right. Yeah. But yeah, so Part A covers your hospital care, lab tests, surgery, nursing care. Part B, that is your medical insurance for like doctor visits and outpatient care. Part C provides the same coverage as A and B with additional benefits, because remember, that's the same thing as Medicare Advantage. And then Part D is your prescription drugs. So I think we got them all. All right. So here's the next one. Talking about how Medicare is doing right now. In what year is the Hospital Insurance Trust Fund for Medicare expected to run out of money? Is it A, 2026? Is it B, 2033? Is it C, 2042? Or D, 2055? When will the trust fund run out of money for Medicare?
Initially, Jim, that was kind of a trick question, because, 2033 is when Social Security is supposed to run out of money.
Yeah.
So that's what I originally first thought of. But I know Medicare is supposed to run out before that. So the only thing before that is going to be A, 2026.
Final answer?
That's my final answer.
You got it. You got it. That's right. It is.
I only missed one.
So yeah, you're doing great. So yeah, the insurance trust fund that pays hospitals will run out of money in 2026. Medicare spent $925.8 billion in 2020, and the fund's expenditures exceeded the income by $60 million due to accelerated and advanced payments. And of course, in 2020, when we're looking at some of those numbers, kind of a weird year, if you remember some weird things going on.
You know.
Do you want to redeem yourself with a bonus question, an extra credit round? Should we do that since you missed the one?
I need all the help I can get. I need a perfect score. Here, so
all right.
The bonus can knock out the one I missed.
Here's the bonus one. All right. Who were the first two Medicare beneficiaries? Was it A, Lyndon and Lady Bird Johnson, B, Harry and Bess Truman, C, Walt and Lillian Disney, or D, Bernie and Jane Sanders?
Well, Jen, you couldn't give me an easy one.
No. I mean, come on. There's one you can take off. You know it's not Bernie Sanders.
Well, it's not Bernie Sanders. Get rid of that one. Right? And it wouldn't be Lyndon Johnson because he was working, he was president, and so it wouldn't be him.
It'd be handy if he's the one who signed it and he got to be the first one who took it, though.
Yeah,
right?
It wasn't. So I got that. So, but you got Walt Disney, right? He was, they built the theme park in 1970.
He was right there for the right age for you.
Could have been right there. But I'm guessing that the Trumans were probably a little older than the Disneys. So I'm going to go with the Trumans, Harry and Bess Truman.
You did it.
Oh,
that's right. Kind of his reward for working so hard on this during his administration, because he wanted to do that back in the 40s, and then it was in the 60s when it finally happened. So then, he was right at the age. So look at you. You got 5 right in our Medicare trivia, and this is tough stuff. I mean, it's no wonder people have questions about this. They want a little help on this. Tell me, Philip, when it comes to Medicare, how does your office handle this and help people fit this into their overall plan?
So here at our office, we don't actually do Medicare supplements or anything like that. But however, we have folks that we work with that are experts when it comes to Medicare and planning for, which option should I take, that type of thing. And we'll sit down with clients. I mean, we're not totally out of it. I mean, we don't actually, sell it or provide it, but we help people and help educate them. Jim, we've developed our core retirement design to help people really and truly design the retirement they always dreamed of. It's easy to get started. All you have to do is give us a call at 863-285-3815. That's 863-285-3815. Come sit down with us. Let's walk through our core retirement design, designed specifically for you.
You've been listening to the Statler Financial Radio Show. That is all the time we have for this week, but be sure to tune in again next week for more insights from Philip. We'll talk to you then.
Call Philip Statler today to get started on your complimentary financial X-ray report. 863-285-3815. That's 863-285-3815.
Information provided during the Statler Financial Radio Show is for illustrative purposes only and does not constitute investment, tax, or legal advice. Information has been obtained from sources that are deemed to be reliable, but their accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed. Always consult with a qualified investment, legal, or tax professional before taking any action. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Individuals should thoroughly review the contract for specific details of the product features and costs. Income payments and withdrawals from deferred annuities are generally taxable as ordinary income in the year they are taken. All investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. No strategy is guaranteed to be successful. This radio show is a paid placement.